Hello everybody and welcome back to Performance on Wheels. We're about almost one summer in on the Defender.
We are.
And we've already had some issues with the thing.
We've had a few issues, but hopefully that'll keep your attention here because you might consider those issues minor, like I am considering them, but they are worth noting, especially with this huge term that everyone has plagued in their minds on Land Rover reliability.
So let's quick sum up what's going to happen in today's video. We did an oil change on the car. We're going to talk about the oil change. We found an oil leak already on the car and we're having issues with the navigation, well, more the touchscreen system, the Pivi Pro in the Defender.
In addition, we're going to just hit on quick some possible modifications. We're very close to our first winter with the Defender, which I'm actually looking forward to, just seeing how the 90 performs in the snow, performs in the cold weather. I have some pretty awesome video ideas for that. And stay tuned for those, but if you haven't checked out our other Defender videos, we've kind of been documenting our ownership experience thus far.
We have all the videos in a playlist. Click it up in the corner.
Yeah, it's my wife's daily, so we just kind of play with it on the weekends. But anyways, what are we going to start off today's video with?
We did the oil change on the Defender, so let's talk about how it went. First of all, I think we just took the engine cover off to have access to the oil filter. Went ahead and loosened up the oil filter. You can just go to your local Menards or something and get an oil filter kit. It's going to be in that kit most likely for the correct size. Then we decided not to do the suck route, but we drained it from the drain plug.
Yeah, so the suction route would obviously be a lot easier.
Yeah.
And what that is sticking a tube down into the oil fill and sucking it out, the extractor method. There are some YouTube videos on that specific to the Defender, so make sure you check those out. We took the more complicated route, which is going from the underside, the more traditional oil change, taking the drain plug out, and doing so, that is quite the adventure in taking the plates off.
Yeah, so just like one of our previous videos when we just took everything off to check it out, you take one plate off, then you gotta take another plate off, and you realize you have to take another plate off.
Yeah, and we got doing it the second time. I had the same like nightmares of doing it. Oh, there's one more. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, there's always just one more fastener, one more plate that comes off.
It's 50-something bolts in total, and yeah.
One thing I find, so it's kind of a pain in the butt, but speaking highly of the Defender in that regard, I've been looking specifically under the full-size Broncos I've been seeing in person now. I've been looking under the Wranglers, and we've owned a Wrangler in the past.
There's no doubt about it. It is protected.
Right. I've been paying attention to the other underside of its competitors, and it's like none other.
It's frustrating you have to do an oil change, but I'm glad that it is there.
For sure.
Yeah.
And they actually sell aftermarket kits that are like covering the control arm so you can't get a rock caught into the groove and stuff like that too. Yeah. Just making everything smooth underneath so you can't get caught on any ledges. So
that's smart.
Yeah, so that it is a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt to take those plates off, only because it's time consuming. It's not like you're doing anything challenging. It's time consuming. It's like,
And I assumed this when we finally got to the drain plug. However, just kind of did it anyway, assuming Land Rover is smarter than this. However, when you pull the drain plug out, it goes everywhere. It'll hit the frame. It goes all over everything. Just a massive mess. Prepare for a mess of oil.
Or think ahead of time and put some sort of funnel in front of it so it'll drain down.
Or something, but yeah, just.
I actually thought we had an oil leak. We did a good job of cleaning it up, but I thought we had an oil leak or didn't tighten something because a couple days later there was a few drips of oil on the ground. It was just the massive overflow of oil that was hitting the frame and then falling down.
And then how you would tell if it is new versus old, just the color.
Yeah.
So however, let's talk about the color for a minute. After we drained it, the oil after 6,000 miles still almost looked brand new.
Yeah. So that recommended oil change is 1 year or 21,000 miles, I believe. It might even be 2 years. Anyways, it's 21,000 miles for a single oil change.
I mean, it's a ton. Absolute ton.
It sounds crazy. It is crazy. They have a specialty formulated oil through Castrol that even at the dealerships aren't even 100% sure what it is, but it must come from the factory that way. Castrol has a different oil that's just missing the one word on the end, and that's what we ended up using. From my memory of owning the Range Rover with the 5-liter V8, an oil change at the dealer was pushing over $200. I had it done at a indie shop, an independent shop, and it was around $100. So I'm assuming we're going to be very close to that same price at the dealer here.
And what did you end up spending? Like
I
60,
spent like
70?
50 to 60 bucks.
Okay.
Yeah. So the oil filter, guys, this is the exact same oil filter that's in like every 2-liter JLR product. I think I paid $9 that came from a out-of-state dealership. I called the local dealership. They wanted like $35 for it. So.
And then that's just your normal canister filter, like canister, not the screw-on, but the one that's actually in the canister.
For sure. So we did the oil change. I fully believe it didn't need to be done. I have the peace of mind because after seeing the color, not seeing anything out of the ordinary, like, okay, I'm fully confident I could go 10 easily without thinking about it. Might even go 15. So this next go around, I think I'll take it up to 15, but I actually have a trick in mind here, right?
Okay.
Because during that inspection of the oil change, you actually pointed out there's some slight oil seepage just underneath the flange where the oil filter rests. The flange where the oil filter, you can see it in the video right here, where that oil filter flange first connection is right towards the top of the motor. There's some slight seepage there, so that will be my first warranty repair. I'm almost certain of it, but I'm gonna wait to bring it in so I can get my next oil change for free.
Clever.
Aha! I did the same thing on my Jaguar F-Type, so we're gonna do it again here.
On to part 2 of the video. So that was our oil change, part 1. What's part 2?
Let's talk about the issues of the car.
Yeah, so the Pivi Pro has been the main one, right?
That is the main one. However, we're going to talk into detail. There are some things I keep mentioning in other videos. I have mentioned in some of the previous videos, and they remain true. I'll just mention those again very quickly. From day one, when we were driving this back from Chicago, the driver's side rear speaker rattled.
Yep.
And I can hold, as it's rattling with the bass up and the volume and the right song on, I can hold the panel and it goes away. So I know it's just a loose panel. I know it's not a speaker deal. That is going to be brought up to the dealer. It is going to be repaired. I can promise you that when I bring it in.
And we will talk you through the experiences that we have at the dealer at that point.
Yeah, the other complaints I have, or observations for that matter, are it seems that the wind noise has increased with the seals, and I've heard other rumblings online and reading through forums, just around the driver's side window, like the ceiling area, as well as on really windy days it almost seems that you hear some crackling up on the dashboard. My wife actually commented on that yesterday, asking what that noise was, and it was clear there's just some crinkling and crackling coming up from the dashboard. The Land Rover has come out with its first recall, which is the, I don't know if it's specific to the 90 or not though. This could be 90 and 110.
I don't know, it was the seat rails.
Yeah, the seat rails, something about they may not stop, they may fail.
And there is not a solution out for it yet. However, they said
they have the solution, they just don't have the parts.
Oh,
just like everything. There's no parts for anything.
My bad. I thought they're in the process of making the solution.
What's interesting is that's one of my other complaints is on the driver's seat specifically, as you kind of move around with your butt, getting in and out, you hear some crinkling or cracks, like something isn't fully secure on the seat rails. So I don't know if this recall will fix that or not. The biggest issue going on to Mr. Pivi Pro is that's the biggest complaint of the car, and I fully expected it going into it. That the electronics on all JLR products has always been the issue that people seem to always talk about or have issues with.
How many times has this happened to you?
We're at 7,000 miles. I have been in the vehicle for 2 different occasions, right?
Okay.
So I was in the vehicle, we're just zipping down the road on the way to the apple orchard, loving life, and it just goes into, hey, I'm checking out for a minute, and then it came back on by itself.
Okay.
Just the music stopped for a second, the Land Rover logo picked on and went through a cycled.
Well, that also could have been an over-the-air update.
It could have been, but yeah, it was quick. It was 15, 20 seconds, and it came back.
Okay.
I have been in the vehicle another time where it just shut off.
Okay.
Stayed off. My wife has complained to me about 3 other occasions where it has occurred.
Okay.
And what you guys are watching is one of those occasions on her way home from work. She said the screen went out, and she said that the speedometer went black too for a second, which I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I wasn't in there, but that's the way she described it. Everything's black. but we could not get it to recover. You read through and people say to hold down the power button. I did that on 3 different occasions and it still wouldn't work. I tried it with the vehicle running, I tried it with accessory mode on, I tried shutting the vehicle off, locking it, unlocking it. What brought the Pivi Pro back on was shutting the vehicle off, walking away, listening for all of like the shutdown cycles. This thing makes a ton of noise when it shuts down.
Yep.
You can hear like, it's like every one of the computers shuts down in stages. Like there's all sorts of different rumblings that happen in it. So once it quit making those noises, I went in and started it and it fired right back up like normal. So in 7,500 miles, we've experienced that 4 times. It always comes back. Sometimes it's a little more frustrating than others. If you're in the middle of a good song, you're like getting ready to hit the high note and it cuts out. Like, what's up, guys? That's not fun. So does that make the vehicle unreliable? That's what I keep going back to.
Yes and no.
I still get to where I'm going just fine.
Yeah.
It drives down the road perfectly fine. My music might cut out. My navigation might cut out. But I'm still driving it as a vehicle. If I take it, the frustrating thing here is, if I take that to the dealership, they're going to say there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that is frustrating. But like the other thing that you have to look at that some consumers might be looking at is that if you had a phone and the screen went black, is that reliable even though it still makes a call?
Yeah, but okay, yeah, I see your point, and that is a good point. However, this is the vehicle. Its purpose is to get you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Everything else in the vehicle is an accessory in my mind, right?
The only purpose of a phone is to make a call.
Right. So a phone, if a phone you can't use it at all, then that's a whole nother scenario in my mind, in my opinion, than a vehicle that's main purpose is to transport you from point A to point B.
Okay.
The last little part of the video before we just wrap up our little summary clip prior to going to the dealer, prior to winter time coming, is we've been talking a lot about
some mods, yeah.
Yeah, some accessories.
So actually, first time, no, I've seen 2 other 90s on the road, and I just saw one the other day that had the roof rack, the snorkel, and on this side it had the box. I saw that when it turned. So I mean, they're cool looking. Yeah,
for sure. So guys, this is where we want your opinion in the comments below. The things I'm thinking of, I really like the Land Rover OEM, what are they called? Mud flaps. The big bulky ones.
Those are cool looking.
So from the back, it's like way more obnoxious than the size of the tire, but I love the look of that.
Yep.
So this could be helpful for like do it yourself if you're curious about it. If you want to see something done, we want to get involved in a conversation in the comments. So let's rattle them off. Mud flaps,
roof rack,
the ladder to get up top, whether that's the blinking on the name.
There's an aftermarket one that goes up the taillight, and then there's the OEM one that goes on the side.
I think it's Crazy 8 Off-Road or something.
They did reach out to us at one point, and then they just kind of stopped.
We thought we were going to do something with them, but poof, they're gone. They might have been busy with the whole Trek deal going on, but
yeah,
who knows?
I'm not sure.
Also toying with some power running boards. I've been toying with that because my wife would enjoy that. I know we're going to have those for when that coil suspension lift kit comes out.
Yes.
So if there's a coil suspension lift kit, I know I'm going to need the running boards at that point.
And then at that point, we're probably going to need bigger wheels and tires too.
Yes. Bigger tires
and then
for sure.
You might need to upgrade the tire thing on the back to hold a larger tire.
Here's another big opinion one. We've been talking about having the roof wrapped gloss black to match this. I know you can get it from the factory that way, but I'm wondering if that's a choice we should have made or if it's something we still should do. Do you guys like the whole sandwich look here, or would it be cool if it was all...
I personally think it would look a gloss black.
I think it could go either way, but yeah, we'll see. So if there is a mod that we didn't mention, or if there's one of those mods that were mentioned that maybe you can't find a good video on doing it yourself.
Ooh, the snorkel could be a good one too.
Yeah, for sure. Comment down below. I did forget to mention the trailer hitch, which it's almost crazy that I did not put that on this from the factory.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of, like, that is a must-have option for this vehicle.
Especially for a vehicle that has such a high towing capacity.
Right. And the fact that you have the 90, so you can put a small, like, overland trailer or just a small cargo trailer behind it, and you can have the functionality of something that's got a lot more space for a road trip or whatnot. So having a trailer hitch on, that might be a good first mod even to dig into taking off the back bumper. Obviously, we'll have to put the tow hooks on because those mount to the same spot as that receiver.
Oh, and then some of the clips that you guys saw as overlay today, we were just playing around in the parking lot, flexing the Defender. We don't have any off-road stuff near our house, so this is about as good as we get. And as you can see, we had this at, what was it, 21, 22 degree
Negative
angle?
21, yeah, going down.
And we had it at such an angle, and we haven't used much washer fluid, that the washer fluid came out of the overflow cap. So we got
the fill cap,
the fill cap. We got washer fluid everywhere just from being at such a good angle. So I thought that was kind of fun to see.
Yeah, we're looking into, my wife and I, going on a road trip next year, this next spring, summer. I don't know if you'll be able to fit. Maybe if we have a trailer behind you can come along, but I don't know, man.
We'll have to see how it goes.
So we're thinking southwest, we're thinking west, go hit up some trails, go hit up some just beautiful scenery, and using this as our tool to get us there.
That would be really cool.
Guys, this is our last video before the snow falls on the Defender.
Yeah.
When the snow falls, we got some pretty fun ideas. I'm not going to share them because I want you to stick around for those.
And then I started on the winter project. If you guys saw my CTS video wrapping up how much it cost me to own for the summer, I started on my big winter project and it's not going great. So if you're interested on how that's going, be sure to check out the new CTS V video that'll be coming out soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. Have a great day.